Hello, everybody. Sunday Adelaja here, and I'm here going to do review, this DSA's review with you. And the review we are going to be doing today is a very, very interesting review because it's a review of a topic that uh, is a very important topic to everybody. Everyone should go and study this topic, and this topic is life changing to everyone. But not too many people are enthusiastic about coming to do the review on this particular topic because it's not an easy topic. The topic is thinking series. So we are going to be doing thinking series. And I was wondering, who is this brave lady that is ready to do this review? Our own is Odeh, and she's from Nigeria originally, but she's based in Greece. So I want to introduce you to Anne right now, Anne Odeh, and let us welcome her. And hello, Anne.
Hello, DSA.
Wow, how are you? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me on your platform.
Very good. Just speak louder. Speak okay. Speak louder and boldly.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yes. How long have you gotten in touch with DSA now?
I started watching DSA from say November last year. November
2017.
2017. It's about 7 months now. About 7, 8 months now. Yeah.
But the changes that have taken place in your life from this little I know about you is like even before now, you had written me a letter when you were just watching me for 3 months. And even that time, the change was already enormous. And tell me about it.
Yes, actually, I started watching. It was my husband that found your video online. Prior to then, I had not really. I knew there was a Nigerian in Ukraine, but I didn't know more than that. So when he put your video, the topic was on tithes, and this was his view,
Your,
which I
your
didn't
husband your
know.
husband is from what state?
He's from Delta State, Buzo.
And he grew up there in Delta State.
Yeah.
How did he, was he a Christian or a Catholic? Because most people in Delta State, some of them are Catholics.
No, he was not Catholic. He was rather Anglican.
Oh, Anglican. Okay. But he was already a minister in in uh in here or what? He was a pastor.
No, no, no. He was not a minister. In fact, he joined the Pentecostal when we met, or shortly before we met. So
Now you bring him.
that was
You introduce him.
before we met in
You introduce him to
Nigeria.
Pentecostal, but he introduced you
No,
to.
he came. He
But
came. He came.
he introduced you to DSA.
Yes, yes, yes.
Small world, huh?
Yeah, small world. So what I was saying, initially I didn't want to listen to because that was his view. He said, "Come and listen, come and hear this preacher is talking about tithes." And I knew that his position on tithes is different from mine, and I didn't want to listen to him. I didn't want to listen. But he kept on pressing me the next day, the same thing. Come and listen to this preacher. You understand what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. And then reluctantly, because I couldn't block my ears, reluctantly I listened. And I was like, wait a minute, I think he's saying something. He's saying something. And that was how I started listening to DSC.
And you know, sometimes what the women on the platform here used to say is that they think that their husband is not spiritual because they are not supporting taking
Exactly,
money to church.
exactly, DSC.
That he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand. He's not spiritual.
Yeah, he was not spiritual. That was my, my belief. That
So
was it.
you are a typical Nigerian Christian.
Exactly, I am. I was.
All these women used to say their husband, they are not committed. He's not committed.
Yes. Yes, yes, I did that too.
But the good
Yeah.
thing with the men is that they have just life logic. They understand it. They have the wisdom through life. And
Yes,
that's why they understand these things practically.
yes. Yeah. Because they are more practical, we are more emotional. And
Yes,
we,
yes.
yeah.
So you started by listening to the tight one.
Yes. And that caught my interest, and I reviewed it, and I thought about it, and really I was convinced that this is the truth. And in fact, I was like, my God, why haven't I thought about this? Because it's like it was like a taboo to think. You don't think because we're meant to, you know, accept this say that you have to believe what you hear, don't question. So I
Yes.
had never questioned that. So, but when I listened to you, and I also listened to one other preacher who did analysis on tithing, New Testament and Old Testament, the law and the grace. And I was like, this is true, but why haven't I thought about this? And that was when I was like, oh my God, I haven't been thinking. I have just been following without thinking. And this was later I realized that I did it intentionally because when you're in a setting where you are told you don't question things, you don't question, especially when it's coming from big men of God, it's coming from your GO, you don't have to question it. You don't have to be like Thomas. So you just believe. So I never tried to question it. I just believed. And I even preached it. I taught it in Sunday school because I was a Sunday school teacher.
Wow.
I taught it in Sunday school. Ah, in fact, when I remember, it's really painful. I taught according to the manual I had, and I even told them that look, tithe is those. I don't want to go into that. So when after listening to you, I really, woke up. I realized I wasn't thinking, and that was when I started going through your videos. I've listened to so many of your videos. I've listened to prayer series, thinking series, faith series, finance series. Just it was like when you take somebody that has been in the wilderness and is serving, and you put the person in a banquet table to eat, I just couldn't. I just couldn't stop. You understand? And you always say you have to listen over and over, listen to a message over and over. I was like, yes, so what are you talking about? I can't go. In fact, it's like I'm discovering more. I can't even take a moment to listen again. The one I have listened to, I just see so much, so much. I just like keep going, just keep. So, but it's true that you have to listen over and over again to get, better understanding. But I have just been. It's so amazing. It's so.
What are the transformations that have happened to you?
Um, I realized that actually I have been seriously praying against the spirit of religion in the church. I have been praying without knowing that I myself have been a victim, that
Of,
I was doing religion,
of
not,
religion.
yes, and I was praying against the spirit of religion. So when I got to know you, when I listened to your message, I realized that, my God, this is me. I have actually been praying against what I've been practicing because I've been practicing religion.
How long
I've
have you
been in
been? How long have you been in Greece?
I've been in Greece for about 13, 14 years.
Okay, so you were not there when I came.
No, I don't even know you came to Greece.
Yeah, I was there 15 years ago.
Okay,
And I
okay, I
gathered
wasn't.
all the pastors from Greece together from
Okay,
Athens. I had a meeting
yeah,
with them.
okay.
All Africans
I,
too.
I wasn't there then.
Yeah.
So, but I've been a believer right from Nigeria. It's quite a long time now. From 1994.
But
I
that is
became
that is a good thing because someone like you can at least remember maybe how the beginning was. That it was not as
yeah,
bad as this.
it was not as bad as this. It just went gradually, gradually. I think uh, when money became an issue in the church, it just started taking the center stage.
Yes.
When money, yeah, money took the center stage, and it made preachers to start, manipulating people just to get what they want. And we didn't, the people didn't realize it. And a lot of people up till now have not realized it. So
So
especially those in Nigeria.
you discovered that. Oh, I think we might need to reduce it again. Okay, you discovered that you were in religion yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, tell me more
Because
about the changes that took place.
because everything that I started learning and started reading, understanding my Bible, I realized that this, some consciously, some unconsciously, I have been, tied to it. I never missed church for one day because I felt that how can you be a Christian and you don't go to church? You can't even, you won't believe it, even if it is raining hell. I don't mind. I get soaked with my children. If I don't get, I have to go to. Even if I'm sick, it's that serious. Even if I'm sick, even if my child is sick, we have to go to church. It's a Sunday. You understand? So, of course, somehow I knew that just going to church will not get you to heaven. But I couldn't relate. How can you be at home? You be a Christian and you're at home on Sunday? It's not possible. You can't be a Christian. So that was one of them. And the issue of tithe, I, I was a fanatic tither, which sometimes my husband didn't quite agree because it got so serious that sometimes we were taught in the church that if you have, even somebody gives you a gift, you have to value the gift, the monetary value of the gift, and you have to tithe on it. It's that serious, and I believed it, and I believe so much in tithes that wow. So now I begin to understand that those things don't really are not the main things. Those are not what you know Christ is looking for in us. Not how committed you are in paying your tithes, not how many times you go to church that matters, but that there is a purpose to life. And
Yes.
that is something that I have gotten from you, and that is very profound because now I can say I am living purposefully now, unlike before. I was not living purposefully, I was living by faith.
Now, what are the messages that you would like to point to that God really used to change you, or that you can remember that left lasting impression on you?
Like I said, the height issue made me to realize that I have not been thinking, and without a believer that doesn't use his mind, can be easily deceived. So that was what woke me up. And then I began to listen to the series. I began to listen to your messages. And when I got to the thinking series, my God, I was like, oh my God. Actually, I chose this thinking series not because I am now a master in the art of thinking. I am not yet a master in it, but I chose it for a purpose. Because you cannot be a Christian and your mind is suspended. Then you would not be able to do what Jesus said. Because many times in the Bible, Jesus warned us. He said, beware that you do not be deceived. So it is our responsibility to beware. Jesus did not say, I will beware for you or something. I will make sure that you are not deceived. He didn't say that. Rather, he said, it is our responsibility to be at alert. It is our responsibility to beware that and seek to it that it is in Matthew 24, verse 4 and 5. He said, seek to it that no one deceive you. So it is my responsibility. So if I don't think, how am I going to beware? How am I going to be at alert and make sure that nobody deceives me? Because I have been deceived. I realize that I have been deceived. I will sit in the church and the pastor is telling me, the God is telling me to give your last, give everything. I have given my whole salary the number of times. And he will be telling you, God is saying me to you now, to some people now, some of you, God, for goodness, I'm hearing your voice, I'm not hearing the voice of God. But you create the experience in my mind that you make me to believe that it is God that I'm hearing, not you. So you don't give me opportunity to think. I don't think to think for myself and know, am I hearing the voice of, is God telling me to give my last to you, to the church? So you just see that you're carried along because you want to live by faith. And then they will tell you, don't be like Thomas. Thomas doubted. And what did Jesus say? Jesus said, blessed are those who do not see but they believe. But if you think a little bit, you understand that Thomas did not believe, not because he was thinking. Thomas did not believe, but because actually he was not asking questions. He was not thinking. He was with Jesus all the while. And that's the difference between Thomas and Peter. Because Peter was thinking. Peter was asking questions.
Beautiful.
So that made it easy for Peter to understand who Jesus was. That made it easier for Peter to know, to clarify his doubt and believe in him. So Thomas was not thinking, and that was why he depended on his senses alone. I want to see, I want to put my hands on it in order to believe. So it's not because Thomas was not thinking, it was actually because he was not thinking. He didn't think of his experiences with Jesus. He didn't infer from what he has experienced in his walk with Jesus. He didn't think about the words Jesus has spoken to them. He didn't think of who Jesus revealed that he was. Because if he was thinking, he wouldn't have doubted, he would have believed. So when they say don't think, just believe, don't be like Thomas. So we just follow along like that. They just like ask you to block your mind and walk with faith, believe. God is telling you something now. Just do it now. So I've been a victim. So when I realized all those things, it really woke me up. And I decided that I'm going to see to it that no man deceives me.
But even the way you are talking now, I could see that you are a very intelligent lady.
Thank you.
Your thinking is being restored.
Thank you. I hope it will really be restored because I also have a story to tell about myself.
Go ahead.
In regards to thinking.
Go ahead.
In regards to thinking, actually, when I got into University of Port Harcourt, somehow the offer I got because the choice I made, I didn't get it, but I was given a philosophy. to study. My God, this was hell. I was in the philosophy department for some time, but people didn't understand what philosophy is. They don't know what philosophy is.
Okay.
I couldn't even tell people that, look, when they ask me what are you studying, you mention philosophy, is like, oh my God, what is that? They see them as a bunch of mad people that were given, the university was kind enough to give a space to occupy there. So they are mad. They don't.
Wow.
The way people responded to philosophy, especially Christians, no, 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 no. Philosophy is bad. Philosophy is no go area. It was so, and with the pressure from my family, that I must change. In fact, I was threatened that they will stop paying my fees if I don't change from philosophy department. So I had to change, and with that, and I was a new convert too at that period. So philosophy was like the light at which it was portrayed. It was portrayed in a very bad light. Like, you don't think, you can't be a Christian and you say you're a philosophy
I'm be
department
thinking.
and think. No, you don't think. So that just maybe contributed to the way I saw philosophy, and a lot of people misunderstand philosophy, and they quote scriptures like in Colossians 2. They will tell you, Jesus said, the Bible says, beware of philosophy or something. But if you read that, you will see that it didn't say that. The Bible actually said in that Colossians, I don't know if I can read it now.
Yes.
Beware of color and the philosophies of this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what it said. It didn't say philosophy generally. The philosophy of this world, the philosophy of shallow-minded people or something like that. So,
Yes.
but it was taken to mean philosophy is a no-go area.
So
It's of this world.
that also helped you to suspend your mind.
Exactly. That also helped me to, and the painful part of it, I was so good in the department that when I wanted to change, the lecturers were so sad that I was going to change. So, but like, I had no choice. I had no option. I had to change.
But God is returning you back to it. Oh. Do you know I'm a philosopher myself?
I know that now. Now I know. Now I know that actually we cannot be effective ministers of the gospel without critical thinking, because you cannot speak to people that are enlightened. You can't speak to them about Christianity if you're not able to defend your faith. So how do you defend your faith if you just...
Especially in that country where you are living now, in Greece.
Yeah.
You can't convince anybody.
You cannot convince anybody. And that is why we church here, Nigerian churches here, you will not see a single, for years that they have been here, you will not see a single Greek person in the church.
Wow.
You will not see a single Greek. Even when they turn up, maybe the reporters or something, they are looking at something else. We don't understand. We think that they came to just, but their reports will show that they see us as a bunch of
mad people. The same thing in England, the same thing in Germany, the same thing everywhere.
Yes.
But when I came to Greece, all the Greek people came to listen to me. White people.
You see.
Yeah.
So it's so painful that why are we here for so many years and we're just chasing ourselves, running after members. This church, they're dragging members, come, and all Nigerians. So are you not in a land where you should take over the land and win the people over.
Yeah, that's what
But
I was telling them when I met with them in Greece that time.
it's still the same. It's still the same.
Wow.
And it's so sad.
But you are very smart. I can tell, I can pick it up that your mind, you have really regained your mind. But what happened to your church members and your pastors? What when you started listening to me, and I'm sure you started changing.
Before I started listening to you, I was okay. When I was in the church there, in the African church, my husband stopped coming to African church
It's very right.
because
It's very correct.
he could he couldn't bear it any longer because the money pressure, the time, because we go in the morning, we stay till the time, and he was just so pissed off with it. And then he left. He wasn't going to, he didn't even want to go to any African church again. But later he found a Greek church, not Orthodox, a Pentecostal church too, but the system is different.
Yes.
The pastor is a Greek, and he has the truth. He
Yes.
preaches the truth.
Okay.
So he started going there. So I remained with the African church because I was a minister. I was a minister, and I had responsibilities. I was the treasurer and all
But
the stuff.
it is the responsibilities now that they are using to hold you back. You don't know?
So, so I couldn't join him, but he just left me. But the fact was that I was under pressure because I was expected to be in church Tuesday. I was expected to be just weekday services, and even on Sunday I'll have to go early, and just before, and then I have to, with the children, we come back late, and by the time we get home the children are tired, my husband gets angry, and I'm under pressure. Why is it that you're getting angry? Is it not church that we went to? And then the pressure from the church, you don't have to, if I don't come to weekday services, it's like, you're a minister, why would you be in church for the weekday services? And it was just, so bad for me. So the pressure continued, and at a point I decided, I would change. So if going to church will be, because I go to church on Sunday, when I come back, I'm sad, because I expected him to be in the church with me, and I get the impression from the church that it's because he's not spiritual, or he's not happy that the wife is more spiritual than the husband, so it brings some kind of jealousy and pressure, So it was too much for me. At a point I just decided I would change. And again, there was something I mentioned last time. Well, that was one of the things that made me also, make up my mind to change. About the last call that I made to you, I mentioned something. So with that, I decided to join him in the Greek church. And the atmosphere, the environment, the teaching was different. There was no control. There was no money was not there. Instead, they give to you, they help you, they want to find out if you have any need and all the stuff. And nobody asks you, why didn't you come to church? Just on your own, you go to church. And I was like, this is different. I was like, don't they even, mind about maybe their members come to church, you don't come. I expected maybe if you don't come to church, they will call you, why didn't you come to church today, and all this. But there was nothing like that. And the teaching is just like your teaching is in the same
Because
line with what you
they are free people.
Yes, is in line with what you're teaching. The only difference is that you go deeper and more practical. and maybe they stop at, at a point. So that's the difference. So when I joined in there, I became, free, and like I began to understand. Now looking at it from outside, I began to understand that some things were not right.
What you had in
the church.
Nigeria and those Nigerian churches, they are not churches, so they are paganistic centers.
Yeah, yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. So looking at it from there, I understood. But then it was when I started listening to you that I really understood what the pastor, there's some things that he says that I didn't quite understand, because I was coming from a different, So when I started listening to you, it became clear, and then I realized that, look, I was not thinking. So if I could be so deceived for so many years, that means I'm in danger of being a part of the people that will be deceived at the end time.
Yeah.
Which makes thinking a very critical thing in the life of every believer, because it is my responsibility. It is every believer's responsibility to be at alert, and that is why the thinking series and the truth series, they are just, for me, they are just together. They are just together because when your mind is awake, your mind is alert, then you will be able to discern what the truth is. You'll be able to think and be able to know if somebody is deceiving you or if somebody is bringing some. You'll be able to question. You'll be able to question your beliefs. You'll be able to question what you have been practicing. So if you don't think, then just know that you could be deceived, that one of those that will be deceived at the end time, as the Bible warned. And it is my responsibility to make sure that I am not deceived. So that is why
What was happening to you when you first started listening to the thinking series?
I immediately related it back to my philosophy
class
day. And did you know another thing, BSA? When I came here, after a few years, I decided to enroll in a master's degree here.
Okay.
MBA. And the very first course in that MBA classes, the very first course is critical and analytical thinking.
Wow.
That was the first course. And I was, oh my God, these worldly people.
Nigeria.
It was that bad. It was that bad. I said, oh, these worldly people. God says he's going to make the wisdom and the philosophies of this world, is going to turn them into foolishness. So what is, it's like, for me then, it was like two paths that don't meet. It's either you go the path of philosophy and thinking, or you go the path of faith. So, and as a Christian, I don't want to go the path of philosophy and analytical thinking, because when you begin to analyze everything, then you move out of faith. You're no longer living by faith.
Wow.
And we are admonished to live by faith.
Is that what they tell you people over there?
Yeah, that's the message. Is just like it's like that. So if you are a believer, you want to go to hell, it's just believe. It's just faith. And for them, faith is, you cannot question anything. A pastor will tell you, God says this to me, and then you cannot question it because it's coming from a pastor.
That is faith.
Because God says it. Yeah. So you cannot question it. So that is faith. For me, that was my understanding of faith. You believe. You don't question it.
That one na zombieism, not be faith.
There's this fear that maybe if I question it, I might be offending God, and then maybe that might mean that I'm backsliding. So I don't have to question nothing. I just have to believe. So for me, it was super. So this course, I was disappointed that, this was the first course they brought. I did it, but I can tell you now that nothing entered here. Nothing entered.
Wow.
We did team projects throughout the master's program. We're doing team projects. So I was working with a team in that project, but I read and tried to make some, but I didn't take it seriously. But
That's a pity.
It's a pity. If I had to go and look for my text for the textbook, I'm like, oh my God, what did I miss? And it's so pained me because I've wasted years. If I was thinking critically, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yes.
I would be more purposeful. I would have been questioning things around me that would help me get to the right answers, to the truth. And I would have been, a much better person. I would have been more successful person than I am now. So that's the most regrettable thing, to me, that I wasted those years, and even when it was offered to me again, I rejected it, sort of.
So when you now began to listen again to this series, how was, what were you experiencing, and why did you decide to take it serious?
I decided to take it serious because of what I have experienced. Because I know that if every Christian, should think, then Nigeria will not be the way it is today. The church in Nigeria will not be the way it is today. So thinking is very critical, is very important to even to the Christian faith. There is a quote I saw somewhere when I was reading by Michael Glehorn. He said, thinking critically about some of life's most important questions is a way for us to fulfill the biblical mandate to love God with our minds.
Beautiful.
Isn't that amazing? It's amazing. We have to love God. Even the Bible says we have to love Him with our minds.
Yes.
We have to love Him with our minds. So how can you love God with your mind if you don't think? And we quote it. Thou shalt love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your... And we don't even think, what does that mean? What does it mean to love God with your mind? You love God with... I love it when Mayowa always says, use your mind.
Use your mind. She says, use your mind.
Use your sound mind that God has given you.
That
Even
God has given you. She says it affirmatively.
Even the Bible says that God has given us the mind of Christ. Mayowa says, use your mind, sound mind that God has given you. And that is true. That is true.
I think you are another Mayowa, or God is raising up now.
My God. No, Mayowa, she's doing a great job. She's so bold. She's so bold. She's so bold and fearless. She's fearless.
And because you have a good mind yourself, and this your mind, you need to use it also for the glory of God.
I would like to. I hope to. Yeah.
Okay, let's try to begin to analyze this thinking series. How will you start?
Oh, okay. Yeah, having said this, the importance of thinking to a Christian, the importance of philosophy, and being able to differentiate between the philosophies of this world and the Christ philosophy, because Christ thinks, God thinks. He uses He's logical. He doesn't just do things anyhow. But somebody that doesn't think will do things anyhow, will be very shallow. God is not shallow. He's intentional in everything he does. He's purposeful in everything he does.
He's thoughtful.
And he's thoughtful in everything. So he expects us, because we are his children, we also have to be purposeful. And how can you be purposeful if you don't think? So you'll be living somebody's life. Somebody will be telling you what to do all the time. Somebody will be, God says this, you should do this, and you just keep doing, following without thinking. So God expects us to be that. So you started by also talking about the the dangers of not thinking.
Of shallow-mindedness.
The dangers of shallow-mindedness. It's a pity that a lot of us, we are victims. In fact, the whole nation of Nigeria is victim of that, of shallow-mindedness. I remember the analysis you made about Lord Lugard's comments.
Ooh.
Oh my God. I just wonder, haven't we read this before? It's been there for how many years? Even before Nigeria was formed.
Yeah.
If we were thinking people, wouldn't we have looked at it? And of course, nobody can deny that there's truth in it. But instead, because we're shallow-minded, we just react emotionally and like, hey, why should he say that? Maybe he's a racist, blah, 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 blah.
You know your people.
That is the result of being shallow. And years, how many years are we? Nigeria is, how many years
Almost
now?
60.
Almost 60 years. And what Lord Lugard said, you cannot deny it. You cannot deny that is the truth. That is what is happening. We have not been able to prove him wrong because we have not been thinking. Because a thinking person will look at that. You don't just wave it aside. He has his point of view. He looked at it he analyzed it. So we don't just put it aside. If we're thinking people, we will look at it critically, and then we will use it to analyze, or to analyze ourselves and see where we're going wrong, what is wrong with us, what we have believed wrongly, and then we'll know how to, solve the problem. So critical thinking is very important for problem solving. And that's why we have so many problems in our nation, in our country, which we're not solving. We're just it's just going from year to year, from one leadership to another, because we are not thinking. So the dangers of shallow-mindedness is too costly. It's very, very costly.
Yeah.
So, and you really analyze it in the message of dangers of shallow-mindedness. A lot of points you listed there. Shallow-mindedness, you cannot be successful if you're shallow-minded.
Yeah.
Because successful people think. Successful businessmen, if you want to be successful in whatever you're doing, you cannot be shallow. If you are shallow, then you cannot be successful. So that is another danger of it. You don't ask questions. If you don't ask questions, you cannot invent anything. And that is why we are not inventive. We're not inventors. Because we don't ask questions.
Yeah.
So it's on and on. I don't on and on. A lot of dangers of shallow-mindedness. And this comes from as a result of lack of not taking words seriously. That was a topic. One of the messages was focused on not taking words seriously.
Yes.
Because if we take words seriously, we would have taken the words of Lord Lugard seriously. And I'm telling you, if we had taken it seriously, like you brought it up and you analyzed it, I'm sure many people have seen that before and they just read it, blah, blah, blah. I saw it before. I saw a part of it before, long time ago. But because we don't take words seriously, we just react at the moment, and this was exactly one of the points that he made there. We only act at the moment. No, we don't think of the past. We don't reflect on the past, and we don't have a future foresight.
Yes.
We don't have foresight, and we are there. The thing is in front of us, but we didn't take the word seriously, which would have been very good for us if we had taken those words seriously, like you brought it up in the last HMT. Nigeria wouldn't have been the way it is now. So that is very dangerous, not taking words seriously.
Right. Then the next point. I think
if we don't take words,
yes, go ahead.
If we don't take words seriously, also, it is easy for us to be deceived, like you said, because a preacher tells us something, we just take it, we don't go back to analyze it, like the Bible tells us about the children of the Belial children. Am I right?
Berean, yeah.
Berean children. They took the word seriously because they went back to research it, to critically think about it, to make sure that they get to the truth. And that's why I said the thinking series and the truth series, they go hand in hand, because you have to understand what is the truth. You will have to understand what truth is not. You have to understand what is half truth. You have to understand what are the things that make something to be true. You have to understand God himself is truth. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. So with good understanding of what truth is and what it is not, and what half truth is, which is what we have been taking in, half truths, taking in, and so when you understand this, and then you have the skill or the ability to think critically and analyze things, then you will be able to create your own personality. You know what you believe in. You don't just believe anything that comes your way. You cannot be easily deceived, because you have your values based on the biblical principles. You have it. So anything that comes to you that does not line up with your values, by the time you analyze that thing, you know that this is not the truth. It's not based on the values I believe in. It doesn't further my purpose. So you don't take it. In that way, you cannot be deceived.
Yep.
Yeah. So you also stated that shallow mindedness is dangerous because it makes one live a shallow life. Your life, one's life becomes shallow if you don't think. If you're shallow-minded, you don't take what seriously. Your life will become very shallow, and you'll be in bondage. That's another point. The person will be in bondage, and that is why a lot of Christians are in bondage. A preacher will tell believers to go and eat grass, and they will go and eat grass. They are in bondage because they don't question it, because they don't think, and it's so painful because they are shallow. So we can be tossed around. The Bible says, "Don't be tossed around by every wind of doctrine." But being shallow-minded, of course, you'll be tossed around. You'll be tossed about because you don't question anything, and that is why even enlightened people in the society can be in a congregation and be doing some nasty things, paganistic things, and they don't question it because it's coming from a man or a big man of God. So they're just living shallow. They don't have they're not living their own life. They don't have their personality, just what they are told to do that they do. So that is very shallow, living minded and being tossed about with every wind of doctrine that comes their way. Have
you not started having problem already with your relatives in Nigeria?
I I share and share, the response I get most times is silence. And then some people now avoid me. And some people, when I mention it, they like just block me off and say I don't want to hear. Okay, we'll talk next time. Next time we'll talk. Okay, bye, bye. They block me out. So, but the message is going round. I believe many people are, now understand, but it will take time because they have been in the system for so long. So it's gradually, it will take time. I'm sure they will get it.
Do you speak Greek?
I speak, but not so good.
Okay.
Not so good.
What was the next point you have there?
The benefits of thinking. The benefits of thinking is the next one you also talked about.
Yes.
So, and the benefits are very obvious. It's very obvious that when you think critically, I've already, mentioned that you cannot be deceived. Your life will be more successful. And you mentioned about Hitler and all these leaders that manipulate people. Their greatest joy is that people don't think.
Yes.
People don't think, and that gives them joy because they can manipulate you any way they want, like they are doing in the churches, most of the churches in Nigeria, and people follow them. Even the professors enlighten people because they suspended their. I'm a practical example of, it doesn't matter whether you went to school or not. It doesn't matter if you're the vice president or you're whatever you are. But once you have suspended your mind, you don't think.
Yes.
You don't think, and then you just follow. And this is their joy, that people don't think. People just follow and, do whatever they tell them to do. So I was talking of the benefits of thinking. Thinking is very important because you take charge of problems in your life by thinking critically. You take charge because when you think critically, you have a problem. You used to explain somehow. You're at a level and you have a problem. You cannot resolve that problem at that level. You have to move higher.
Yes.
And how do you move higher? Is by thinking. You go higher above the problem, then you'll be able to analyze. When you are higher, you can look at the problem from a higher angle, and then you'll be able to analyze the problem, and then you'll be able to get at a solution. You arrive at a solution. And it helps us to be independent. Thinking critically helps us to be independent. So it's obvious that those that don't think critically, their lives are being lived for them by other people.
Yes.
People tell you how to live. You're in bondage. So you're not independent if you don't think. You don't have your own personality if you don't think. So for you to have your own personality, you have to have your values, and you have to know what you accept as your own. You analyze it. You know the truth. You know what you believe. You don't just take what people tell you. Hello?
Yeah, I'm just thinking as we are talking
Okay.
that it's like the whole of Nigeria needs to be totally repackaged.
Hello? I cannot hear you.
You couldn't hear me?
I didn't hear you. No, I can hear you now.
I said the whole of Nigeria needs to be totally repackaged.
Exactly. I agree with that because it's a mind. They need mind shift, total mind shift. We need it in Nigeria.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Oh, hello.
Yes, I'm hearing you very well.
Hello.
I hear you very well. Only it's like your
I
line
cannot hear you again.
I hear you well.
Can you hear me?
Very well. I hear you very well.
Hello.
I'm hearing you. Okay, we have to call her back. Another bit is running here. I think she lost us. I think there's a line, an internet issue there. So we'll try to reconnect back with her. She's trying because thinking series. I expect a man to handle that kind of topic. But people like Mayowa can handle it. But a lot of ladies seem to be more emotional than to think. And that is not because, ladies are bad. It's just because of the structure. Because women are more emotional than logical, but men like to be more, they are built to be more systemic in that sense. But, if you work on yourself very well, or if you are around men most of the time, or you are in the secular world or in a corporate world where they always demand logic, then you don't have any option. But with Anne, I think she probably just has love for it. She has love for philosophy, for thinking, for asking questions. I didn't ask her about this, but I'm sure she probably enjoyed the... Hello?
Hello, yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, good, good, good. I think it was the line.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yes. What point are you in now?
Okay, I just finished talking about creating your own personality and being goal oriented.
Okay.
Yeah, that is what thinking will do for you. And you become better focused. And you'll be able to concentrate. You'll be better focused
Yeah.
and concentrate. Yeah,
Yep.
because if you don't think, you cannot be focused. Everybody will throw things to you and you just take it, or you just you won't have focus. You won't be able to concentrate, in whatever you're doing. And then you will not have the thinking will help you to have self-control. You'll be able to hold back your emotions. You'll be able to hold back your emotions, because a thinking person doesn't react based on emotions and stimuli.
Yeah.
You don't react anyhow like that. I was talking sometime with somebody who disagreed with you on political issues, the
Yes.
politics in Nigeria.
Yes.
And the person was, talking about how he disagrees with you, how you're wrong or something.
Yes.
And what I tried to respond to the person by telling him that it's not about you disagreeing or agreeing. DSA he's not reacting based on emotion. He's
Yeah.
not reacting based on stimuli. He's reacting based on the facts he has got, which might be, I don't know how, I cannot substantiate on the facts that you have. But the point is not you believing or agreeing with DSA. The point is for you to go make your research, go get your data, verified data, go get all the evidences that you need to analyze the situation. Then think critically, analyze the situation, and come out at your own conclusions. So the point is not whether you must agree with DSA or not, and that is the point DSA is making. You don't have to agree with what
Yes.
anybody tells you. And this
Yes.
is why DSA is teaching us to think critically. He's teaching us to think critically. So you don't take anything. It doesn't matter if it's coming from DSA or not. You don't just have to take it like that, but you learn the art of thinking, so that when you're responding to situations, you don't just react emotionally. You don't just react based on stimuli, outside things. Things make you react the way you react. Somebody insulted me, so I have to fight back. And most of us grew up with such environment where you have to give it back to the person, and that is allowing yourself to be controlled by
Yeah.
stimulus, outside
Yes.
stimuli,
Yeah.
emotions. And this is one basic thing that we should learn not to do. We shouldn't react by stimulus, because if you're a thinking person, you'll be able to before you react, to be able to analyze the situation. And I bet you by the time you do that, your reaction after analyzing the situation critically and your reaction if you had not analyzed the situation will be quite different.
Totally different.
Totally different. So that's why the Bible says that it's a fool that allows himself to be controlled by his emotions or feelings. So you don't allow yourself to be controlled by emotions. You don't react based on emotion. And that is the result of a lot of mistakes and things we do and we regret because we don't take the time to analyze. We don't take the time to see the issue from the other person's point of view. We don't take time to look at it from and understand the purpose why that person did that. Why did they? What is the person thinking that, or am I assuming something that is not right? So, but by the time we do this, we're able to come to a different conclusion, and you see that your reaction will be different. So, thinking critically helps us to react to control our emotions.
Right.
And to be more disciplined and to live with clarity. So yeah. So the person that reacts after thinking, you see that the person is disciplined. The person cannot fight on the street because he thinks before he acts. But if you act before you think, then you're shallow. You don't think.
Yeah.
But if you think before you act, then you will be disciplined. You find out that you will be a very disciplined person. And you will live with clarity of what you want, clarity of purpose. You know, everything you do will be on purpose. Everything you do, you'll be sure that you're doing this to further your purpose. So, and again, you'll be a more truthful person. You'll be able to discover and see yourself clearly. And that this is very profound. It's very profound. You'll be a more truthful person if you have if you develop in yourself the art of thinking.
Yeah, if you know how to analyze.
And know how to analyze things, using the right data and with the right assumptions, you'll be a more truthful person. And this reminds me of the Truth series. By the time you are able to tell the truth about yourself to yourself, then you know you discover some things about yourself too, and then you'll be able to live with clarity and be clear, and you'll be able to face facts and reality. And also another benefit of critical thinking is that you will be objective because the decisions you make will be based on facts. Your decisions will not be based on assumptions. And this is very, very profound because in Nigeria we live by assumptions. We make a lot of assumptions. We don't analyze them. We're not objective, we are subjective.
Yeah.
Because when you react based on emotions, you don't analyze things. So you just see things in your small world, in your small viewpoints. You don't think of the wider viewpoint or the viewpoint of the other person, and when you don't look at it from there, you're just in one corner and you're just seeing that thing from that your little corner. So you cannot be objective.
That is so profound.
You'll be subjective. You'll be just subjective. And your decisions will be based on your subjective
Thinking.
belief, or will be limited. Yes. And somebody that thinks critically thinks about his own actions rather than enticing others.
Yes.
Thinks about his actions. Rather than criticizing others.
Mm-hmm.
So a thinking person, first of all, analyzes thinks before he criticizes. He doesn't just criticize things, people. He analyzes it, and then he understands why people do what they do. He tries to find a purpose why they did what they do, what they did. He tries to understand their worldview, their from where they are coming from. Tries to understand their experiences, and be able to empathize with them and understand why they did the action. And you'll be more tolerant. A thinking person is more tolerant, patient, and listens to others. He's more analytical, and he's committed to the truth, not feelings. He's not committed. He's not ruled by feelings, like we said before. He's more analytical, and he's committed to the truth. A thinking person is not afraid of offending others, and that's that is very, very profound about DSC. He's not afraid of offending others because he stands for the truth. Because you know the truth. Because sometimes if you don't know the truth, you can't even take a solid stand. Because you have not analyzed it, you are not even sure, you're just living on assumption and acting on emotions, and then you join the crowd. So when you're the side of the crowd, you're comfortable. Everybody does it. Everybody believes in it and they do it. But when you know the truth and you stand for the truth, you're not afraid of offending others. And that is one thing that sets DSA apart. He's not afraid of losing everything.
Yes.
For the truth.
Yep.
And that is how it should be for everyone who wants to please God. You don't go with the crowd. A thinking person is not afraid of, is more meticulous, and he pays attention to details. A thinking person pays attention to details. He's meticulous, and he's a workaholic.
Yeah.
Yes, because thinking is hard work. And there's a place you quoted someone that says thinking is hard work. Henry Ford.
Yes.
Henry Ford says thinking is hard work, and perhaps that is why
only few people engage in it.
It's hard work. It is. So because you have to, and it's the hardest work because you have to engage your brain. You have to really, work hard in order to get results. A thinking person asks questions and researches information to the roots. Ask questions. This is very, 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 very important.
So I'm sure with this asking question, did you like the last HMT? You would like the HMT then?
Yes, exactly. Asking questions. In fact, it's going to, if we're going to change Nigeria, we need to teach the people to ask questions, because for so long we just live, we don't ask questions, we just go like that, live like that without thinking. Because if you think you have questions to ask, and then if you ask questions, you will make discoveries. Be able to discover things, to make discoveries of things you didn't know. In every area and aspect of life, it's so important to ask questions. And I'm teaching my children, you have to learn to ask questions.
Yes.
My son asks a lot of questions, even in school, everywhere he does ask. And this is very good to teach our children, and for us to also learn to ask important questions, critical questions, and then we'll be able to arrive at answers. And Nigeria cannot be inventive if they don't learn to ask questions.
Yeah, the culture itself discourages asking questions.
Yes, it does. From childhood, I am a victim of that too. You're not allowed to ask adult questions. You're not allowed to. There are things as a child that was bothering me that I needed to get answers to, but nobody will give me answer, and I dare not ask questions. And as a child growing up, there are things that you don't know, you want to know, but you're afraid to ask because they will always say shut up your mouth. They will always shut you down, you know. So just shut up and then just bottle everything, and then you end up learning the wrong stuff from friends or somehow, and that is very very risky for our children. So asking questions is very critical. It's a very important trait that we should, work into ourselves and learn how to ask questions and how to get answers.
Yes.
Analytical thinking improves our health. This is also good. Yeah, because I was also thinking of it, how it affects our health. Sometimes old people, if you see some old people in Africa, at certain age, it's like their memory is so
It's gone.
down, it's gone. The way they behave, the way, but you see somebody of the same age that his mind is working, even at very old age, the mind is still alert. They still think, they still have a reason. So it's very important. And you also mentioned that it's the way we think, also our thinking also is beneficial, to prevent some diseases because the mindset, you know, um, your mindset, if you have a wrong mindset, you can be prone to certain kinds of diseases, which,
Yes.
yeah. So these are the importance of critical thinking and many more. It's very important.
What about people around you? Have they discovered some changes in the way you ask questions or you think and you talk to them,
Yeah,
both here and in the family, at home, your friends?
yeah. Yeah, I'm more purposeful now. I like before I cannot tell you that I am living purposefully. Before I would just go along like that, live like that. But now my husband has seen changes. I am working hard. I'm asking questions. And the good thing is that when you begin to ask questions, you can't imagine the opportunities that you begin to see. You can't imagine it. Like right now, I'm seeing opportunities which I didn't see
Before,
before. No, I didn't see those opportunities.
even in that country,
Eh?
even in the country
So,
around you?
yes, even in the country, it was like a dead end. It was like nothing is possible. But that was partly because I was not thinking, and that was because I was not purposeful. I was not asking questions.
Yes. You are not
So
deep
it's very
enough. You are not going deep.
no. I was not. I was not. But now it's different. Asking questions and thinking critically has opened my eyes to things that I didn't know were there. And it's opening opportunities to me, to see things and see what I can do, and things I can do to also fulfill my purpose and live, life.
A legacy, leave a
That's
legacy.
what I'm living now. And people around me can, testify to that too.
Now, will you agree to continue this sometime in the future? Because we have to go into the principles one by one.
Principles. I have the principles with me now,
So,
yeah.
will you agree to come back?
Yeah, of course, I will. I will. I'll be glad to.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I want to also ask, have you ever, you've not read any of my books, eh?
I've read your books. I've read some. I bought quite a number of your books, about, I should say, up to 13 or 14 books
You bought
that
them
I've read.
physically or on the internet?
I read through from Kindle, Amazon Kindle.
Kindle,
I have
okay.
the
Kindle.
Essence of Life. I
Well,
read the Essence of
yeah,
Life
I
on
want you to
Kindle.
comment. I want you to comment on them. The essence and value of the value and essence of life, or the essence and value of life.
That is an amazing book. That is so amazing. In
The
fact,
essence and value of life. Yes.
it took me long time to finish, because I couldn't just read through it. It was There's so much truth in that book, so much amazing truth and revelations in that book, that I recommend it to every believer to read, because we just live like that without really knowing what is life, and you really, address the question of life there. It's so full of. If you look at my Kindle, my app, a lot of highlights. I couldn't just get through it, and I have to read it again. I have to read it again and again. It's
Yeah,
so
because that is the
so
book
full of
that is defining life, giving the what is the meaning of life, what is life
the
meant
meaning
for.
of life, the essence of life, the purpose of life. What are you living for? It's so amazing. It's so amazing. That book is the best that I have read. It's the
Wow.
best. It's the best.
Okay. Any other
I have
one?
a lot. Some I've read some halfway. I've not finished, because
Any
I'm doing the mental.
any other book that has blessed you, impressed you?
Life is an opportunity. I've read that, and it's also very good. So it's amazing too. I've read Who Am I? Who am I, and why am I here? I've read uh, I can't think. I've read about four of your books.
Yeah, what will you say
And
about who am I, for example, or life is an opportunity?
who am I is a question that a lot of people have not asked themselves. We just live shallow lives, but we need to understand who we are and why we're here. For what purpose are we here? And if you don't understand for what purpose God made us, it's it's a book that I recommend for everybody. In fact, it's the beginning. It's the beginning, the first book that somebody that wants to um, understand his life, understand the purpose for his life, why he's here on earth, who are you. It's an amazing book, and I'm thinking of making up training for young people, because I really have this heart, this body for young people, to help them understand this from their youth, so that they'll be able to maximize their lives, be able to maximize it, to help them to understand the purpose for their lives. Why are they here? It's an important book for people to read, and I hope to get it to young people, the youth here, to help them.
Do you want to do the training for the youth on the internet or just where you are on the ground?
Right now I'm trying to do something on ground, where I'm putting the trainings, planning it now, um, with the help of a professional career counselor.
Yes.
And yeah, with the help of a professional career counselor, we're planning the training that will suit the youth and help them. And I hope to really bring out truth from your books that I've read, and look for a way to pass it across to the youth, to the young people here that are growing up, so that they will understand it. And I believe and I hope it will help a lot of them to live purposefully, and to be able to fulfill
What
their
about
mission
life is
in
an
life.
opportunity?
Life is an opportunity, is good, and It helped me to be bold enough to take steps, or to see opportunities more in everything, and be able to take steps at, taking hold of the opportunities. Because before I would like I said, I was living by faith, waiting that one day God will answer me. One day something will happen. Believe God, this is my year. All those slangs, pray and pray and pray until something
Empty
happens.
pronunciations and proclamations.
Yes, exactly. Pray until something happens. Every year you go for the all night, you sow seeds and everything. So that was how it was for me before. But reading life is an opportunity, and the purpose and the essence of life, it has changed my perspective. It has changed the way I respond to things. And I see clearly now, I see opportunities, and I'm I see opportunities now, and I'm taking hold of them.
Yeah, so you now see that even in grace, despite the
Even
economic problem, that there are still opportunities there.
yes, even in Greece, there are opportunities. But before now, I tell you, no opportunities. Not that there are no opportunities, but we don't think in that line. We don't think in that. We only believe, think we are faith people.
That God has to bring it.
God has to do it. In fact, God, every day we assure ourselves that God is going to do something, and we keep waiting. From year to year, we are waiting. God is going to do something.
Wow.
But now it's different with me. It's different. I said I'm living now because I'm living purposefully now. I am not waiting for God to do what He has equipped me to do. I'm not waiting for Him to accomplish what He has put me here on earth to accomplish, and giving me all that I need to accomplish it. So it's different. With those books, I really, have a mind shift.
What about the series? Which ones, apart from the thinking series, will you say you recommend to people who are watching now?
I recommend the two series along with the thinking series.
The truth and thinking. Okay.
And the prayer series too. The prayer series is amazing because it will help us to know how to pray. Because before I prayer is I can't. Prayer is not about relationship. It's so simple that it's just paganistic. It's completely pagan religion that we're. So God is
Practice it.
about what it's about what He will do for us. It is about what He will get. It's about how this is my year. It's about me, and everything. But listening to the prayer series, it will position every believer. I recommend it to listen to it. The prayer series, the faith series, they're amazing. It's really something that we need to understand, because sometimes we see faith, we understand. Like I told you, faith for me before is something else. But listening to the faith series, it gives a clearer understanding of what faith is and how God expects us to live by faith.
Beautiful. All right. Well, you already agreed that because we still have a lot to go in this series, this thinking series.
Yes,
We have not even started it. Huh?
we have not even gone into the main principles of critical thinking.
Yes.
We haven't.
And that's just the beginning. This one is
So
just
this is just
introduction.
yes, yeah.
Thank you.
I still have a lot. I still have a lot to say about the principles.
Yes, because that's the main thing. That's why I say you have to come back.
Yeah.
And
And I'm sure you still have. I'm sure you still have more messages on this, because it's not finished.
Oh yeah, it's not. I
Oh,
have
yeah, it's
just
not.
the
I
same
have
way you
just
see the principles. You know the way they are many. That is exactly the same way I have
Yes.
the laws of thinking.
The laws of thinking, yes. You
And
still
I've
have
not
the
even
laws of
started those
thinking.
ones at all.
And I would love that you do it. I would love that you do
I
it.
should do it, eh?
Yes, it's very important. Like I said, for me, it's the foundation of every other messages I've listened to. They are so profound. In fact, there's none of your messages that I don't like something new. They are just so unique and so impactful. But for me, the thinking series is the foundation.
Okay.
The thinking series and the truth series is just the foundation of
Everything.
every other thing. All the other messages are so unique and so. I want to do the family series, but the number of it is still.
It's too much.
I have to, I have to dedicate real time to. Actually, I listen to at least two of your messages every day. Every day, I swear. At
I
least
could
two.
tell because it's like you have not been to those paganistic churches again. You are just a new person.
Yeah, I've listened to quite a lot of your messages, and it's
The-
amazing. I'm in your mentorship program. It's also very good. I encourage everyone to
To
be a part
join
of it,
the
but you have to
mentorship.
be ready. Yes, you have to be anybody that wants to have to be ready to work.
Yeah, but
To
a
work.
lot of people who join the mentorship, they don't expect that it is going to be, they think it's just a light thing. Then, because right now, 8 out of 10 people, they are either taking a break or they are dropping off. They cannot cope.
I finished, I finished one level. I'm waiting for the next level. I've not received the next this thing yet.
Yes, write to them that you are ready for the next level.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the next level. But it's an amazing thing because it makes you to really calm down and critically you read the book, the materials, and then you apply it to your life, make it personal. That is the very good thing about it. It helps you to reflect on yourself, and you get a clearer picture of yourself by looking at inward and applying those principles and those teachings. It helps you to see clearly. So it's for those that are ready to change, those that are ready to work.
To go through the transformation.
Yes, yes, yes. It's really amazing. And again, this listening to you has encouraged me. I'm taking online courses now.
Beautiful.
Really,
Wow.
I'm really,
You are
I'm
growing. You are
really,
going for it. It's like you are
I'm
starting your whole
prepared.
life all over again.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. It's
Congratulations,
amazing.
Anne. And I want you to say greetings and thank you to that your husband that brought you to me
Yes, I'll do that. I'll do that. Yes.
and to your children.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
And I
much.
hope
Yes.
we'll be able to see you in Ukraine one day.
I hope to. I hope to be with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I would have loved to be in Ukraine for this past 8 months, but due to the work I have a casual work which is ending soon.
Yes.
So due to the work job, I couldn't.
No problem. Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah, yeah.
So thank you
So,
so
but
much. Will you be there for tonight? In the next 30 minutes, we are going to continue how to know God and be a friend of God.
yes, yes.
I hope you like the
Thank you
new
so.
series.
Yeah, I've been the first and the second. I listened, but the third I did it. But it's an amazing thing, and I'm glad you took up that topic because
Yes.
people will be wondering. So, how do we do church now? How do we live as Christians if we don't go to church and this? So, but importantly, knowing God personally, knowing Him, and building that relationship with Him is it's a very good topic that you covered. It's an amazing thing. I relate it with the love series, knowing God,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, knowing personally. And this is good. We have to know the character of God so that we'll be able to base our decisions, base our actions. When we think, analyze things, we have to make sure if it doesn't fit with the character of God and the person of God, then it is not for us. So it's a very good thing to build that relationship with God, to know God personally for yourself and build that relationship with Him.
Beautiful.
It's good.
Okay, we'll see you in the next 30 minutes then.
Okay, yes,
Thank
yes.
you so
Thank
much.
you
And
so
we'll
much.
see you again one time. You know, my staff will get in touch with you and you'll be able to agree for the next time.
Thank you
You
so much.
did
Thank
very
you for
well.
having
You did very well, and I can't wait to see you deal with the principals.
me. Thank you, DSA. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Take care. God bless. Bye.
Bye. Yeah.